All right, so my presentation today, it's counseling for career readiness from exposure to execution. Okay, we're gonna dive deep into it. So one of the things I like to ask people is, what if the greatest potential is sitting in our classrooms, right? Uh, but that potential never becomes reality. And it's not because students lack talent. It's basically because they've never been shown the right pathway. So a lot of times we kind of like to let the system work its way. We're the ones that's supposed to be directing the students. We're supposed to be building the bridges and laying the pathway. So today we're not going to just be talking about careers. We're going to be talking about a calling. We're going to be talking about a purpose. So we don't want our students to just have jobs or careers. We want them to find their purpose and their calling. Okay. Session overview. Okay. Like I said, we're not just preparing students for jobs, we're preparing them for purpose. All right. This session is about transformation. It's about moving students from exposure, curiosity, and ideas. Okay. High energy session. It empowers counselors and career advisors with practical hands on strategies to lead students through every stage of career readiness, from sparking early career awareness to guiding thoughtful exploration to deciding purposeful academic and pathway plans, and finally to facilitating real world experiences that prepare students for success. So, one of my main targets, like I just said, is to help our students find purpose, find their calling, not just a career or a job. Okay? Why this session matters. Okay? This is bigger than careers. This is about clarity. This is about confidence, and it's about calling. Okay. Too often we misdiagnose problems. Students are not confused. They're not confused at all. They are just underexposed. I'm not sure what school that many work at. I know I work at a Title I school. My students are very underexposed to the industries that are around them, even in their own town, and to the possibilities that's right there in their hands. They're underexposed. And that leads to people thinking they're unmotivated. They are not unmotivated. They're just unclear. Okay. They don't see the path that connects them to who they are or where they're going. That's our job. Okay. And one of my favorite quotes is, when there is no vision, there is disengagement. So many times our educators will say that their students are not paying attention in class. Their students don't seem motivated. Their students seem like they don't want to do the work. Well, that's because they haven't adopted a belief or a vision yet. Because when you have a vision and a belief, the attitude and the motivation is going to follow. Okay? So it's not because students don't care, but because they don't yet see where they fit. We're giving them information, but we're not showing them where it fits in their lives or what they're supposed to do with it. Now, many students choose courses without understanding where they lead, graduate without a clear direction, and enter pathways by default, not by design. So many kids will actually choose a pathway that they may have saw on a YouTube video or a TikTok video, or they may choose a pathway simply based on the amount of money that it may give. But then when they get into that pathway or they start going on that journey, they jump off it real quick. Why? Because it disinterests them. It wasn't a fit for them. Our jobs is to find a fit for them, find it rooted in their purpose and what they're called to do. Okay. And my quote is, we don't just shape tomorrow's workforce, we shape tomorrow's leaders. So my career readiness framework, it's not a system. I mean, it's a system, I'm sorry. It's a system, not a suggestion. And my system is based on 4 pillars: awareness, early exposure to careers students may not otherwise encounter; exploration, connecting interests, strengths, and values to real career paths; planning, and that's where we come in, mapping out coursework, certifications, and post-secondary options. And then, of course, experience, providing real world opportunities that build confidence and competence. Okay. Like I said, this is not a suggestion, this is a system. Okay. You cannot become what you've never seen, right? And you will not pursue what you don't understand, and you cannot achieve what you have not planned, and you will not sustain what you have not practiced. So that is our goal. We want to take our students through these four pillars during the course of their educational journey. Now, we want to start early. Now, some may argue about starting earlier than middle school. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with it. You can start as early as elementary, as far as I would say laying a foundation for their interests. Okay, just putting different things out there. But when it comes to actually exposing them to certain industries, of course, students have to be certain ages. Okay, so I would say at minimum we go and we start at middle school, where we're going to expose them, because exposure changes expectations. Okay, if students can't see it, they can't pursue it. I am a middle school teacher primarily. My students live primarily in Southeast Texas, which is the Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange area. We are surrounded by refineries. 90+% of my students do not know what goes on in those refineries. They don't know the jobs that entail. They don't know how to pursue those jobs. They don't even know what are the names of those jobs. They just know they're surrounded by refineries and they do something. Okay. We also have a large medical industry. They don't know anything about it. All they know is a nurse. That's it. They know the nurse and they know the doctor. They don't even understand that there are variations of nurses and there are variations of doctors. And simply just saying, I want to become a doctor, well, what specific type of doctor you want to become? And that may be their calling. So that's what we want to do. We want to start in middle school. Middle school matters because it is in grades 6 through 8 that students begin to form their beliefs about who they are, what they are capable of, and where they might belong in this world. Middle school is the most critical grades because that is when in a child's belief system about themselves, about their environment, and about their world starts to form. It is critical that we attack this in middle school, not wait until high school, attack it in middle school. Very important. So, strategy 1 that I use is career awareness. 5 high impact strategies. Okay. One of them is monthly career spotlights, STEM and CTE focus. Okay. Every single month, you want to highlight some type of career exposure, whether it's bringing somebody in, talking about a different career every single month. It could be bi-weekly, it could be weekly. It just depends on how much access you have to the surrounding industry. But I encourage monthly career spotlights. Okay. What this includes: guest speakers, in person or virtual. We live in a digital age. So there's absolutely no excuse why we can't have speakers coming to our campus. They can just Zoom in. Or we use, I think it's Google, like a Google link. I forgot what it's called. But I do know you can do Zoom in or use Google Meets. Zoom in or use Google Meets. To have someone come in and virtually talk to your students. Okay? Well, you want to do STEM and career exploration days. So we want to introduce it to them. We want to bring people in to talk to them, but we also want to take them into the places where they work. And we want to start as early as middle school, not just high school. We want to start as early as middle school. What is this going to do? It's going to start fostering career interests, okay? And it's going to start in 6th grade. That's all we're doing. We're basically just throwing things out there and hoping something sticks. And we just keep throwing it. We keep throwing it. We keep throwing it. The more exposure and experience that they get, the more that they can actually align their own pathway. Okay? Also, future me, reflection and activities. Future me, reflection and activities. Okay? That's very important. That's very important. You want the kids to see themselves doing the things that you are exposing them to. Hands down. Consistency will beat and breed intensity, okay? Intentionality, all right? And of course, virtual industry tools. Like I said, we live in a digital age. If we can't bring them there, we could do a virtual industry tool. There are many companies who offer virtual tours from their website. There are colleges that offer virtual tours. So I know there are industries that offer virtual tours. Strategy 2, career exploration. Find their fit, okay? Now that we are exposing them to a bunch of different jobs and strategies, now it's time to find their fit. We want to go from interest to intention, okay? How do we do that? We foster their strengths, we foster their interests, and we foster their values, okay? So what does exploration answer? It answers, where do I fit? Where do I belong? And that is one of the key reasons why I want to start in middle school. Because what's happening in middle school? What did I say? That is when they start to what? Develop their beliefs, develop their ideologies about themselves and about their environment. Okay? They tend to start waking up. And some of the things that adults used to be able to get away with, they can't get away with them now. So now you can't just tell them, hey, McDonald's is closed. Well, they go look it up for themselves. Like, hold up, McDonald's ain't closed. You can't just tell them anything. They start developing, all right? Because when students don't know where they belong, they get disengaged. But when they begin to see themselves in a pathway, when they can connect their strengths, their interests, and their values to a real opportunity, everything changes. When they can see themselves being that individual, their entire energy changes. They tend to want to learn more about what it is you're talking about. You have to connect the dots, okay? Now, one of the ways we do that is a student pathway map, okay? Building a purposeful journey. And 4 major categories. I say start in middle school, then we go to high school, then of course college or a certification, and then we have what? The workforce. The individual career path planning tool is where vision becomes strategy, okay? So I know one of I forgot the name football. I think it was Herman. Forgot his name. It was a football coach that once had a quote. He said, "A vision without a plan is a wish." It's simple as that. You can have a vision, you can have a goal, all you want, but if you don't have a plan to achieve it, it's just a wish. Okay. So what we're doing is we're going to make their dreams and their vision a realistic reality for them by developing a plan, a personal roadmap. No 2 students are the same. No 2 students are the same. And we can't just simply do that. Okay. This stage is where we turn dreams into direction. A plan gives focus, confidence, and control to who? The student. Not to us, to the student. The goal is simple. Every student should be able to answer where I'm going and what steps am I taking to get there. Hands down. They have to know what steps they're going to take to get there. Middle school is where we lay the foundation. 6th through 8th grade. Focus areas. We want to focus on career awareness activities. Like we were saying, career of the month, guest speakers, STEM days. We want to do interest and personality identification. How do we do that? By surveys, reflections, and discussions. We have to get to know the student. You have to get to know them on some type of personal level if you're going to help them achieve their goals and their vision, okay? And we want to do an early connection between school subjects and real world careers.